It seems like I have been here for a long, long time because Romania is a very, very familiar name in China. Everybody talking about Romania, Romania, Enescu, and all those fantastic music history. And of course, China, especially our father and the mother generation, they know a lot of stories about Romania. That's why, to me, it's like I have been here before. Oh, it's great. Three best things. Food is fantastic. And people, I love people here. Everybody's so gentle. And the three, orchestra, fantastic musicians. It's a festival, the best in musicians' heart. And I never could believe now I'm here. To me, the repertoire is the concept of music visual and visual music. So for Mussorgsky, we are going to present in 1928 Kandinsky's realizations visually about what Mussorgsky could be, what kind of a picture at exhibitions, and that's very, very exciting. And secondly, we will do a symphony for film, harp and orchestra. It's called 女书. 女书 means the secret songs of women. So I have been my hometown. It's like Bela Bartok. Bela Bartok is my hero. And of course, Enescu. So I really, really want to do something always with my hometown because the feng shui, the mountain, the river, really gave me a lot of inspirations for writing music. So that's why I filmed the village. This village, thousands of years ago, is the women's kingdom. It's only women in it. You know why? Because locally they only eat kind of a very interesting taro, purple color potatoes. And they eat that, and every family have twin sisters. The baby is all twins and all sisters. So the village is all women and girls. Of course, since ancient time, they invented their own language. It's the only women language in the world. And it always singing from a mother to daughters of daughters of daughters daughter. It's like a sound river. So I filmed the last few secret women. They know this singing language musically. And of course, I had a symphony orchestra to have a modern and ancient dialogue. And in between, it's the harp bridging two together. I worked for this piece for 3 years. First 2 years is more like a field research, note down all those folk tunes, traditions. Then I finally decided using the film to film the singing, the needling, because they always write those women language in the secret place, like a wallet, like a secret fans, and all those. Yeah, I thought the film, the village film, the people film, the singing is very interesting, and to synchronize every picture and every sound in the film with the orchestra lively. So you always feel seconds by seconds like a sound rivers running and the counterpoint and answering each other from modern time to the ancient time. And this time it's very magical because we have a Romania orchestra. I want to hear the Romania younger generation and musician, how they are talking to this ancient Oriental culture. To me, music is always very dramatic. And to me, I think life is my music, and my music is life. When I was in Hunan, and anyway, two people from Hunan. One is Mao Zedong, another one is me, same village, but he's. But anyway, I trying to always do things like a Bela Bartok, get inspirations from my hometown, but trying to bring that ancient tradition, mingle with today's sound, and presenting in the international stage. So this time, come to Romania is such a trait because spiritually, I'm falling in love with musicians here immediately because they can talk to my soul. So to me, to compose music is just to write your diary musically. And of course, I was working in a dramatic symphony, like a Peking opera. So to me, everything's drama. So when I doing the music for the film or film for the music, the dramatic telling, dramatic sort of a storytelling is always very, very important. You see, we see cinema, we see opera, opera cinema, opera cinema, opera cinema. To me, opera is like an ancient cinema because it has a literature, visual, makeup, text, aria, and orchestra. But also, the cinema is like a future opera. It has a dialogue, makeup, visual, and everything synchronized with music. So to me, cinema opera is quite the same, yeah. To have a prize or be recognized by the music lovers is such a great influence. To me, nothing changed. The only thing changed me so much is always reminds me talking to young people is very important. For example, before I got the Oscar, I never thought about things too much. But because the Oscar were connecting all the people in the world, specifically young people. And when I get a Bach prize and Shostakovich prize, then I suddenly realized, I'm not that good actually. But it reminds me the spirit is very important. And you have to admit to yourself, you're lucky because the God gave you a fortune. You could realize how important you're talking to your spirit. So I think music is like a Enescu, like a Bartok, like a Beethoven, I think, should have always that kind of quality, talking to the soul. People always ask me, what is the classical music? It's ancient time, but I find a very, very interesting phenomenon when you are asking Beethoven, when you're asking Mozart, even Enescu or me, when we are composing, we always question ourselves, can we write down this kind of a notation that in the future people can recognize, people can play back same way? You see, we spend all the time thinking about the future. That's why today we can play Beethoven, we can play Mozart. It's because in that time, Mozart and Beethoven always thinking of us. So to me, classical music is the future music. So I think to create music for the future and to have this orchestra in my hand sounds like a future is very important. You know, same instrumentation, same orchestra, but you know, in the hand of Enescu, in the hand of Debussy, in the hand of Stravinsky, in the hand of me, it sounds completely different orchestra. Why? Because our hometown is different. Our food is different. Our people is different. Our music instruments are same. So that's why I think it's very important to do something worldwidely people can share, east and the west, north and the south. I think to create is a kind of a continuing from ancient. So to me, to create is like you are swimming in a big sound river in the history and never thinking about yourself, hey, want to change everything. Hey, I want to cut off the river. I just do it myself as another river. That's the problem sometimes with contemporary composers. Maybe too much thinking of themselves, how be existing as a himself. But to me, to create your own visions and the sound world, and must be part of this historic sound river. There is a sort of a phenomenon. You know, from an ancient time, the river of sound, river of music, flow from the ancient time, passing you, and you contribute, then let the river go continue again. So technically, we have to know more about the classical music because we can invent more. So to invent future is not mean to cut off the river, it's to continue this river. When I compose, it's almost like a Buddhist ritual, because to me, to imagine the sound and to imagine the life of sound associated with everybody's spirit, it's like a ritual. So every time when I compose, I always think I'm living in another time. And after you compose, of course, you are returned to the life. I think all the composers, the only purpose is for the peace. As a musician, I think peace is our religion. You know, people ask me, what's your religion? I said, my religion is music. Association with the Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, Orthodox, and Muslim, and everybody is one. Because music is trying to have everybody join together, create something for the peace. So peace is the West meet East, and the North meet South. If we could have that vision in our music making, in our philosophy, East meet West, it means we are making the peace together, historically and philosophically. I think the very, very important thing is the artist have to treat yourself as a regular human being. The conceptually, as regular as possible. If you could be as regular as possible, then if you can see something a little bit different from yourself, then that's huge conceptual contributions to the human being. So to me, walking, singing for the human being is very important.